Okay, today we're going to be making a classic Italian dish, carbonara, or carbonara as it should be said, but I feel bad using that name since we're going to butcher it so badly. So I'm going to call it carbonara or carby. We're going to be using mushrooms as the meat replacement, and hopefully it doesn't turn out too bad. Who knows? And with all of that said, let's go! So this is just an editing speaking, realizing that I'm still in frame, as you can see. So let's just ignore that, okay? Oh wait, dude, hold up. I can do like a cool transition, right? So I can be like, let's go to the kitchen. Oh, convenient. Oh, you can see it untie though. Oh, I didn't tie it. You know what? Whatever. So I came up with this little thing. One thing I didn't think through is that I need to get into this closet. This isn't okay. Oh, you know what? Can you balance there, bud? Oh, you can. Oh, what a guy. Alright, we're gonna start off with 2 cups of all-purpose white flour. I'm using a ladle, but you can use the bottom of a bowl or hell your hands if you want to make a pretty decent sized divot in your flour. Then you want to pull your entire carton of eggs out because this recipe is going to take a lot of them. And by a lot, I mean 6. In a small bowl, I'm dropping in 2 eggs and 1 naked egg, otherwise known as an egg yolk or whatever they call it, before depositing them all into your depression. Not your other meaning of the word depression, I can't solve that sadly. Oh look, I unintentionally made a smiley face, which I'm now going to destroy with my weapon of choice, chopsticks. You can use a fork or your hands again if you're into that. While whisking your eggs, you're going to slowly incorporate the surrounding flour until your little chopsticks can whisk no more. And ideally you should be using a bench scraper for this, but I do not have one, so I'm going to use my hands. We're going to just fold the flour onto the little sticky dough thing until we have a pretty decent dough ball that we can work with. Next is the tiring part. You're gonna need this for about 10 minutes. Oh, and you can also take this time to add the little drip of olive oil that you forgot to add in the first place with the eggs. Yeah, you should probably do it with the eggs, yeah. After your full upper body workout, you want to drop the dough in plastic wrap and let it sit for about 10 minutes. And make sure to use this time productively by jazzing out to some tunes. Alright, enough of that. I'm going to be using this pasta machine that I got off Amazon for around $40, but if you don't have one, you can do this by hand. I won't be showing you how to do so in this video, but I probably will in future videos. Make sure to give your ball a good old slap and cut it in half before rolling it out. Now you can see I made a tiny little mistake by putting too much flour on my counter, so it was very hard to do the next step, which is to fold your dough in 3s, kind of like a letter. And you're going to do that alternating directions 3 times. This process is called laminating, and I honestly have no idea what it does yet, so I'm going to put it up on the screen. Cooking is a constant learning experience after all. After your dough has been properly folded, it's time to crank that. I'm passing it through the widest setting on my pasta machine twice, and then I'm going down to a medium, then a thin, or a 6 if you have the same machine that I do. Finally, it's time to cut your pasta, and when doing so, make sure that you not only move your machine around to get a good camera angle, but also that you mess up on one and have to throw it to the side in your quest for perfection. Oh god, what have I done? This isn't gonna cut it, I'm sorry, homie. After cutting your pasta, you want to dust it with a bit of flour to prevent them from mingling, falling in love, and sticking together till the very end, because their happiness will ultimately bring you sadness. And ta-da! 3 nests of beautiful homemade pasta. And Timmy. But he's still beautiful in his own way. He's sincere, and that's what we care about, okay? Timmy, what have you done? Now let's put these aside and fill a large pot with water to about halfway. We're gonna put this on the heat and leave it to get to a boil. Oh, and add some salt. While our water gets spicy, we're gonna wash, de-stem, and cube a couple of shiitake mushrooms. And hell, since we're already breaking all the rules of carbonara, let's smash and peel a couple of cloves of garlic as well. Next, we're going to heat up a medium pan and add 1 or 2 glugs of new olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil, sorry, not bad. When you start to see little wisps of smoke coming from your pan, it's a good time to drop in your shroomies and let them brown. And by let them brown, I mean do not touch them until they pick up some color and most of their water is sucked out. Then crush your cloves with garlic in and try not to burn yourself because it turns out that touching a hot pan kinda hurts. After your mushrooms are browned and your garlic has picked up some color, you're going to turn off the heat and make your egg slurry. For this we're going to do exactly what we did for the pasta and add 2 eggs and 1 quote-unquote yolk to a small bowl and mix till homogeneous. Well, big word. Then for the cheese, I'm going to finely grate half Parmigiano Reggiano and half Pecorino Romano to add a bit of tang. Look at that, perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Oh, and I almost forgot, a lot of freshly ground black pepper. Mix them in and boom, you're practically done. By now your water should be boiling, so go ahead and drop your pasta in. This is fresh pasta, so it should only take a couple minutes to cook. When you think it's ready, give it a little taste, and then you're going to take it out and drop it directly into your pan. Don't worry about some pasta water getting in, since we're probably going to add pasta water after anyway. Mix everything up and then dump in your egg slurry. As soon as you do, you're going to start stirring vigorously until all of your pasta is covered and the cheese is melted. The only thing cooking your eggs is the residual heat from the pan and the pasta, but you still need to mix it for a good minute to make sure they don't scramble. Take a taste, add salt and black pepper to your preference, and boom! Vegetarian carby. Or carbonara. Carby sounds kind of weird now that I think about it. It was at this point that my camera died and I didn't notice, so I didn't get any shots plating and tasting. But trust me when I tell you, it was delicious and I ate every last noodle.